This is the P6, a wheel that claims to be the new pinnacle of electric unicycle performance. Blisteringly fast with seemingly unlimited power, this wheel isn't something you typically imagine when you think of the manufacturer who made it. If you told me 2 years ago that INMOTION of all people would create the highest performing EUC on the market, I would have laughed at you. I've never been particularly attracted to INMOTION's lineup of mild-mannered, consumer-based wheels. They never really suited my needs, and for me there was always a better option. Take the V14 for example. Well, you got the Patent S that's both lighter and has a better suspension in my opinion, and more torque, so it's kind of a no-brainer. I don't think a single INMOTION release has truly piqued my interest. Until today. In a nutshell, this wheel is the physical manifestation of the word yes. How fast do you want to go? Yes. How far do you want to go? Yes. Do you want unrelenting performance without having to compromise on safety? Absolutely. With a tested top speed of 138 kilometers an hour and a theoretical max of 144, this 235-volt behemoth has headroom beyond the physical and mental capabilities of most of us mere mortals. And with a battery pack of 4,200 watt-hours, it'll have range to get you wherever you need to go, with plenty to spare. Its shocks, similar to Fast Ace, promise to give the same cushy comfort found in Leaperkim wheels. And of course, it's equipped with INMOTION's signature touchscreen, making it another one of the more user-friendly models, especially with all the settings a rider might want to adjust. As shocking as it is that such a beast could come from a company known for their mild-mannered mid-tier machines, it really isn't that much of a surprise given the guiding hands of Albert, our former head tech who recently joined Team INMOTION and has been pouring his heart and soul into pushing them to create an exciting machine. Just to touch on some more specs, it's got a 6,000 watt motor with peak power of 20,000 watts, an IPX6 rating, meaning it'll be able to handle all of Vancouver's rainiest days, and a first of its kind dual damping shock with both high speed and low speed compression damping. Oh, and as a cherry on top, a trolley handle that won't shove itself up your butt. Thanks, INMOTION. On paper, this is really starting to look like the best EUC in the world. But of course, if spec sheets and flowery words were the only thing you needed to determine a wheel's worth, then I'd be out of a job. No, let's find out what people really think about this wheel and answer a few key questions like, is it even fun to ride? Is it safe? Should a wheel this powerful even exist? Why not just buy a motorcycle? And what am I doing in an IKEA parking lot? Actually, I'm not going to answer that one. Let's get to it.
Alright. Oh my gosh. That's some nice rebound. You turned on noodle mode, I see. Alrighty, first impressions of the P6. It's quite responsive. Actually, I don't really feel the weight just like puttering around here. And the suspension's real nice.
Okay, well while I'm setting up my pads, I can go over some talking points. These pedals, incredible. 2 wheels in a row I've tried from INMOTION, knocked it out of the park. Love them. I am not very anal about my pedals. I know a lot of people are, and I'd be very surprised if people replace these because quite frankly, they're amazing.
It doesn't feel like 112 pounds at all. I mean, I don't want to do any corners with all these leaves and stuff, but oh, it's pretty nice.
Overall, fit and finish is lovely. This trolley handle, thank you INMOTION for putting a proper trolley handle on the wheel. Your other handles are straight out.
Well, honestly, I think my favorite part about this wheel is the fact that it's more or less been battle tested. Like they sent those three of the top riders to China to go and like actually put it through its paces. Yeah, these angled pedals feel so nice. And like the motor itself, super smooth. Like this feels like super easy to like nimble to carve on. Like compared to like a somewhat similarly weight wheel like the EX30, like this feels like leagues more nimble.
It's a heavier wheel, but once you're on it, and you're moving, it doesn't feel very heavy. It feels very smooth, easy to control. A hell of a lot better than the V13. I never had a chance to really ride that a lot, but their first attempt at a high-speed wheel was, it was a wheel. This, by far, absolutely beats it. InMotion very clearly took a lot of care into making a wheel that caters to enthusiasts, but also doesn't leave the general populace behind.
Yeah, it doesn't have any of like the gruntiness that Bigode wheels have. Oh, okay, I need to turn up the suspension a little bit for my weight, but yeah, the suspension feels like, well, classic sort of fast A style suspension, but yeah, no, it's like it feels a lot nicer, and I'm sure it'll be even better once I actually like dial it in for my weight.
I like it a lot. It's very, very smooth on its power delivery. A lot of Leaperkin wheels, when you're really pushing them to their limits, you can feel I think it's called cogging, where the motor is snapping between positions or between magnets. With this one, you can't feel it. It's buttery smooth the whole way. Standard InMotion affair. You get your USB-C port and the Type A port on the back for charging. Nice to have. I will say, charge port cover doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. It feels pretty thin. I'm hoping they upgrade it with the production model to be a little thicker, more robust, because I feel like if my hands are cold and I tug on it a little too hard, those little retaining straps are to come loose, and then that port is thrashed from the rain, and I do not want to plug in something that's going to charge at 235 volts while the port is wet. Display, nice. I like the addition. InMotion's new displays are not super necessary. They're a nice to have. I'm always for more usability features, and being able to change your settings and see more things on the display is nice. Hopefully the screen will last and be durable. It looks like it's recessed, so it should be nice and durable in the event of an impact. The handle, similar to Leaperkin wheels, kind of puts the frame in a nice box, so if you do drop it down the side of a mountain while you're climbing it, I guess, it'll be durable. They are made of plastic, but I'm hoping it's the same nylon as Leaperkin wheels, because if that's what we're working with, amazing for durability. Should be very nice. And with that, that concludes my thoughts on the P6.
All right, Brian.
Is it actually here?
Yes.
This isn't just some sort of like hysterical. Like,
No, you're not hallucinating this time.
not hallucinating this time.
No.
This time it's real.
Yeah, this time it's real.
Albert, can I trade in my Sherman L for one of these?
Feel the time. All right, here we go. Ooh. Nibble. Oh my goodness. Suspension is like, this is different from the Sherman L. It feels smoother. Nice.
So is Tom gonna be the first one to crash this wheel?
Wow, this looks like a beast, like no other. Okay, now for the finale.
Hit it. I thought you were gonna do a hot 180.
Well, yeah.
Hey, he dropped it. Are you good, man?
Keep that in.
Of course I'm keeping that in. Who's brave enough to do a free spin on it?
Free spin? I'll do a free spin.
You'll do a free spin?
I'll do a free spin.
Okay.
Drop it on the foot.
All right.
Have a good ramen ride, guys.
Wait, Tom, watch this. Yeah.
Okay, free spin. All right, watch your ears.
I'm getting out of the way a little bit more. What was it?
220.
No.
220 kilometers an hour.
Oh my.
Whoa.
I felt the wind over here.
Dude. Like, you know,
The biggest case of FOMO now.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Boom, boom, got a brand new day. I got a bang, bang, gonna do it
really responsive.
Well, he's trying that out. You want to say a few words about the wheel?
Hi.
Hello.
I hope you guys enjoy this wheel.
I'm here today with INMOTION.
I've never been this comfortable at a point where I should be really uncomfortable.
Holy fuck, it's scary. It's scary how stable it is too.
I just feel like the fear is just gone.
Dangerous. I like the smoothness compared to I only ride the T4, but yeah, very smooth, very not nimble.
I'm doing that to see how maneuverable it is. It's actually pretty good. Like, I don't even normally ride 100-pound wheels.
Yeah.
Like, the heaviest wheel I got is 80-pound, and it's already heavy for me. This is pretty good. I really like it.
For jumping on a new wheel that's over 100 pounds, it's pretty good, pretty agile.
Yeah.
Even though my confidence is so low because I cut out twice recently on my EX30.
Oh, yeah.
This thing is just very, like as the other said, it's very confidence inspiring. Like, it just always has more to give. You're not worried that it's gonna cut out on you.
I just went further and further and further and further, and it just kept on. There's just more. There's just more left, and I feel like I'm not touching anywhere near what this thing is capable yet.
This it brings out the want to keep going.
Yeah.
I'm shaking a little from the adrenaline. Holy crap, this thing is crazy.
Hey Albert, how does it feel to be responsible for the first INMOTION wheel that I'm actually excited about?
I don't know if I can take full responsibility. It's a team effort.
Partial responsibility.
Team effort.
Team effort? Okay,
Team effort.
okay.
Sure.
Now, before I get to my reaction, I gotta talk about something that's made reviewing this wheel a tad difficult. See, the culture around riding here is quite a bit tamer than some other places, especially since we're still all working towards getting these things properly defined in the law, and any of us are potentially subject to the whims of a couple particularly ill-tempered traffic officers. As a brand, EVs has never been focused on peak performance, balls-to-the-walls riding. It just doesn't give EUC riders a good look in the often rigid mind of the public, and sends the wrong message to the baby riders who see a clip of a guy splitting lanes going 80 and think, wow, that's so cool, I need to do that. Catering to new riders and casual commuters has always been a priority here, and the promotion of safe riding habits has always been of utmost importance. I'm sure you can now see the problem here. How do we, a channel who doesn't really like to show top speed runs or performance, properly review a wheel whose primary draw is its absurdly high top speed and performance? Delicately. That is why I encourage you, my dear viewers, to watch this next section not through the lens of fear, rather one of consideration for how far this technology has come, and that the actions that I may or may not have committed were done in complete comfort and safety on a machine rigorously tested and designed specifically to provide this performance, with safety being a top priority. Without further ado, and after a quick disclaimer, my first impressions of the INMOTION P6. All actions performed in this section were carried out on a closed course and may or may not be partially or entirely AI generated. Alrighty. This is my first ride out on the INMOTION P6, and as far as first impressions go, this thing has made a pretty strong one. This might just be the smoothest EUC I've ever ridden, and just the most willing to keep going when leaning into it. Now, suspension-wise, it is a very comfy feeling suspension that's very familiar in more ways than one. Now, they don't outright state that it's made by Fast-Ace, but if you're just looking at it, you wouldn't be wrong to mistake it for it. I mean, well, you can't see it here, but it's got the exact same window to show the side of the shock, the same 8-bolt configuration to attach the shock to the battery part, and the feel is just very reminiscent of that of the shocks Leaperkim uses. Another similarity between this and Leaperkim wheels is the firmware feel. I've kind of dogged on INMOTION before for their attempt at acceleration assist that I really didn't like because it just kicked on too late. Like, you would lean into it and then a second later it would start leaning with you, and it just felt like there's that disconnect. Same with their soft mode. but on the P6, they've tuned it to be very quick and reactive, just how I like it on Librachem wheels. So in essence, you have a Librachem wheel and ride feel with all of InMotion's consumer grade polish with an absurdly high headroom of performance. Oh, holy shit. That was my first time hitting 100 kilometers an hour with wheel speed. Probably didn't hit GPS yet, but god damn. And like, the crazy thing about this wheel is that you can just keep leaning into it and it doesn't feel like it's gonna stop giving you power to accelerate. Now, I wasn't even trying, and I just went from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in, I don't know, just listed up there. The feeling I get when I'm cruising here at 90 is the same feeling that I'd expect cruising at 60 on my Lynx or my Apex. It's insane. And like, it's just perfectly stable. I don't feel any instability at all. This is the smoothest EUC I've ever ridden. And I mean, yeah, I better have the confidence in a machine that is just yeeting me across the street at the speeds that I'm going. Now, I'm sure the next question many people will be screaming about is whether or not an EUC should even be able to go this fast. And my completely biased answer is obviously hell yes. But my unbiased, more realistic answer is that under the same amount of quality control and care put into designing this machine as InMotion has, also absolutely yes. Now, I'm no traffic scientist or lawmaker or anyone certified enough to actually make any big decisions, but I know that it is entirely possible to design a machine and operate this machine in a safe manner, just like any other vehicle. And I think all it would take is for lawmakers to actually get out of bed in the morning and figure out what real people want. And that is this. Ah! Yeah, you know, you're probably thinking, damn, he's going insanely fast. That must feel sketchy. But no, I think this is the first EUC that I have not yet approached the point where I can feel it start to tell me that its limit is happening. I'm just not feeling it. It just feels like this thing can go and go and go without any sketchiness, and I think that is great. It is a wonderful sign that we've gotten to a point in EUC technology where I can just cruise like this and not really worry about wobbling out or anything. This wheel just instills such confidence in me as a rider that I am doing this literally on my first ride. So, you know what? I'm very thankful that InMotion finally ditched the stick trolley handle design so I can actually sit on it comfortably without attaching any seat and without the wheel trying to shove itself up my butt. I just spot a bug on my visor. Now, you know what? Even if you're not a speed demon, I think all the marketing hype indicating that this is an insanely fast wheel that only lunatics should ride shouldn't deter you from taking a look at it. If you're just into a casual long cruise, the insanely high 230 volts of this wheel means that it should be able to get some pretty crazy ranges when you're just traveling at a gentle speed. And unlike, say, a 1000cc superbike, the beauty of EUCs is that even the ones with crazy power and speed are still gentle at the low end. It's not like you're gonna twist the throttle a millimeter and send you flying into a wall at Mach Jesus. No. And in fact, the bigger a wheel is, the more gentle and slow it is at the low end. So I can move around this thing at low speeds with just as much control as I have on a smaller or slower wheel. Oh yeah. Hang off the side of it in those corners. Now, Albert's advised us to tell you that this is not a racing wheel. Although I think that message has already been betrayed by Team INMOTION winning on the top spots on both races. But yeah, no, not a racing wheel. But I think that statement does ring true a little bit in that it is still a heavy wheel. And unless you are one of the beefed up racers on the INMOTION team, you're not going to find cornering as comfortable because it does take just that little bit more effort. So in the right hands, of course, this not racing wheel is going to win all the races, especially on big long tracks like AVS and Sonoma with massive straightaways and long sweeping corners and muscly men to handle those. But for the average chap, yeah, this is a nice and comfortable cruising wheel. The big question, would I own one of these? I don't know. Because like, yeah, I've got an Apex, I've got a Lynx, I've got an Arrow. Those are kind of my big three in terms of straight, trail, small trunk wheel. And while I can see this replacing my Lynx, I just love my Lynx so much. And like, when the Sherman L came out, I was in no rush to replace my Lynx with that. Because I still like the nimbleness and the lightweightness of it as like the street, you know, just riding on the street. Yes, I'm sure this would beat the Lynx in a drag race. It just takes a little bit more effort to, and I think it's less the raw speed that I'm after, but it's the effortlessness. So I don't know if this is the right wheel for me. Well, I'm sure my mind would change after all this is great. Oh, it just handles these corners so smoothly and with such confidence. Like, I was definitely going into that way too fast. And see, that's another thing I feel like. If you're not a responsible person and you're given something with the capability to go the speeds that it can go, you're gonna go those speeds. Yeah, you know, with great power comes great responsibility and all that, which is why I think there should be some sort of standardized EUC training program for riders to get into, and possibly even a licensing system and all that. But that's not the topic of this video. I'm just so incredibly stoked that there's finally an INMOTION wheel that I am excited about. I don't know, I feel like this is what the enthusiast and performance market has always wanted. Might even convert some of the Begode fanboys, although I don't know about that. I think we've been away from EUCs that just feel like toys for a while now, but this one kind of exemplifies that, takes it a step further, and really feels like a polished vehicle when you're riding it. I don't think a wheel I've ridden has really nailed that mark for me as much as this one has. Oh no. Oh, hot dog guy is not here anymore. No. I wanted a hot dog. Yeah. It goes fast, it rides smooth. Okay, yeah, it's a Sherman L wrapped in a nice and shiny INMOTION package with fire stolen from the gods somehow to make it the highest performance wheel ever made. And I really like it. I think it's time to address the elephant in the room here, the price. $7,000 Canadian before tax is definitely not what you'd consider affordable, and a few people in line have been crying out that UC prices are getting out of hand, and we need to stop letting manufacturers get away with this. But what these people often don't think of is what exactly went into developing a wheel like this. A year-long development, over 150 firmware updates, countless structural adjustments in both balance and material, automotive-grade electronics, and a ceaseless dedication to addressing issues and administering revisions promptly and transparently are only a few of the many things that make the P6 and INMOTION as a whole stand far above the competition. It's well known that a few of the best riders in the world were sent over to China to test it, and on a surface level, many could see this as just a simple marketing stunt. One of the many real practical results of this was finding an overheating issue INMOTION otherwise never would have found without these top riders being able to push their prototypes harder than any local rider could. And let's not forget about Albert, who, before joining INMOTION, had a massive presence here in our local community and was by far the most knowledgeable and passionate EUC enthusiast I've ever met, and without a doubt was the best person to lead the charge of this massive project. You're in good hands, guys. Even then, some are still pushing the argument, why not just buy a motorcycle? went ahead and bought one. Specifically for this video, of course. No other reason. This is a 2015 Yamaha R3, bought it used for 4,000 bucks. Whole $3,000 cheaper than the P6. Yeah, on a surface level, I can see why that argument makes sense. This thing that I bought, which is significantly cheaper, can go much faster and for much longer. But the argument kind of ends there, because at the end of the day, it's a completely different vehicle. Different mechanics, you gotta use clutch, brake, throttle. It's nothing like an EUC. So telling people that they should just get a motorcycle instead of an EUC is like telling people they should get a boat instead of a plane, or a car instead of a tricycle. They're completely different vehicles that accomplish completely different tasks. I think a more corrected version of that argument would be like, what do you enjoy more? But then that isn't also necessarily an argument against EUCs. It's just an argument for what you love. And I happen to love both of these things equally. You know, being on a motorcycle is like you're riding a rocket. Being on an EUC is like you are the rocket. And I don't think either feeling can be replaced by anything else.
So just to touch on a couple more things people often forget, with a motorcycle you got a lot of recurring costs like regular maintenance, gas, insurance, parking, if you pay for parking, because yeah, you still have to park like a car, which brings me to my next point of portability, that you can't fit your motorcycle underneath your office desk like you can with an EUC that's literally the size of a suitcase. So yeah, I think that's enough pointless comparisons that boil down to user preference for now. Let's race them.
I'm on my way right now down to a big old parking lot. We're going to test the acceleration of this thing versus the P6. I'm super excited for that, to see what happens. Now, who do I think is going to win? You know, as powerful and quick as the P6 is, this is, you know, an actual motorcycle, so I don't know. We'll see. On paper, the record 0 to 60 time on the P6 is actually faster than this motorbike. So theoretically, the P6 should win. But you have to consider that Alex and I are by no means the best riders in the world. But I'm also not the best motorcycle rider in the world. I literally bought this 3 weeks ago. So yeah, I think there'll be a lot more variables in skill than sheer vehicle performance. So this won't exactly be the most scientific test, but it'll definitely be fun to watch. That was a good one for me.
So, that was a neat little experiment. It's pretty fun. I don't know exactly what that proves. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? How did you feel?
I think, like, obviously with the initial torque, I got you off the line most of the time. You would pass me kind of in the middle, and then towards the end, I would sort of start reeling you in. But I mean, man, this thing is way beyond anything we've ever seen in the EUC industry.
I think I still beat you in most of them, though.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Motorcycle.
Yep, motorcycle.
But the fact that this can actually go motorcycle speeds, I think this is the first EUC that will actually keep up with a motorcycle in most situations.
Yeah, in most situations, city riding. I definitely still wouldn't want to take it on the highway yet, but if I was somehow teleported on a highway and I was forced to ride it, I wouldn't feel too scared. It's perfectly capable of keeping up those speeds and safely. Yeah, I'd say that's a first in EUCs, that you can do that and feel completely level-headed and not worry about the machine dropping you.
Yeah, I think like in terms of practical speed, this is insane. So you have the headroom that you can easily go 100 kilometers an hour without even really thinking about it, and you have enough battery to hold it on the entire group ride. Whereas most other wheels, it's like when you hit about 90, that's when most wheels are kind of in the cutout territory and they can't hold it for very long.
Yeah. It's really freaking cool. Also, like, drag racing is fun.
Drag racing is fun. Yep. Yep.
And there's like a lot of room for both of us to improve our technique on launch. So yeah, this was by no means a scientific experiment whatsoever. This is like not the maximum acceleration of either vehicle, I'm sure, but it was a good, fun little test.
We'll be better when the P7 comes out.
The P7.
Okay, so one thing I noticed was Albert on stream said that the X-Way had more torque than the P6. No, it doesn't. Like, this, like, it might have similar torque at certain speeds, but this just takes it and, like, has the same torque at 90 as it does at, like, 10. Like, it's nuts. It's, like, this will smoke the X-Way in pretty much every situation. This will smoke every wheel.
It definitely takes a bit more effort to get that initial acceleration, because there are wheels that feel a little bit more willing to go at the get-go, but this one you just have the confidence to lean and keep leaning, whereas other wheels you can like start to feel it give up a little.
Yeah, like I didn't feel any significant dip. Like there was one little oscillation on one acceleration, but I leaned harder on other runs, like nothing. Like it's so confidence inspiring. I think one of the things that impressed me the most about this wheel is the fact that they invited 3 of the top racers to China to actually test this wheel, so that they're the crash test dummies, not the consumer. But real talk, like, you know, they put their blood, sweat, and tears into the development of this wheel, and they pushed it way beyond any normal rider. So anybody should have complete confidence even in batch 1 of this.
Oh yeah. Good wheel. Yeah, I don't know how to end these things. It's just like
You end it with you like stalling your motorcycle.
Do you do you have any closing remarks?
All hail Overlord Albert.
All hail Overlord Albert. Now, this wouldn't be a proper review without some complaining. As much as I like that the firmware now feels closer to the LibraChem neutral mode that I love, I think there could still be some improvement. For one, soft mode does this weird jiggle physics thing when a force is applied, which can make the wheel oscillate when going over small bumps or hopping curves. Now, I have talked to Albert about this, and they're going to try to tune it out. Next, the suspension. While very similar to LibraChem's fast-safe shocks, there is a slight difference. And bear with me here, this is kind of hard to put into words because of how minute a difference it is, but the P6's suspension almost feels looser? Like on most occasions, it feels great, better even, but then there are some bumps and drops that clunk in a weird way. Maybe I haven't played around with the adjustment enough, but sometimes they just aren't as silky smooth as LibraChem's shocks. And finally, while I appreciate INMOTION moving away from their stick handles, I do wish this one could be operated with just one hand. And it's not like the Sherman L where you can sort of do a sneaky one-handed open. This one's straight up impossible without some kind of add-on, which will make it pretty inconvenient for something like grocery shopping, where your other hand might be otherwise occupied. But besides all that, I really like this wheel, and I've loved testing it too. And thanks Albert for bringing this unit out for us to try. For over the past few weeks, we've had fun. I think the biggest thing for me about this wheel was the absolute confidence it inspired in me. To just go out and ride without any worries. I mean, this thing's limits are way beyond my own, meaning I practically never have to worry about cutting out, or wobbling, or any of the things we've had to worry about in the wheels before it. It carries itself with so much smoothness and professionalism that it really represents the next step in the EUC industry as a whole, and a step I hope to see replicated by the other manufacturers, and not just in the final product, but in the whole development cycle as well. So, to a brand that's never really been on my radar, thanks for surprising me. Good job on the wheel, and I hope everyone out there loves it as much as I did.
Hey.